Yo, what is going on, you all? Tiger here, and welcome back to another Jurassic World Alive video. And Merry Christmas to you all out there watching this. I hope that you have an amazing day, spending time with loved ones, and just having a Merry Christmas in general. So in today's video, I'll be ranking the top 10 best uniques in Jurassic World Alive. Originally, this video was supposed to come out a few months ago, but because the updates were happening left, right, and center, I held off on making this until Christmas. I also just want to give a big thanks to all the people who helped me make this video for the past few months and who gave me tons of wonderful ideas. Your name will pop up on screen. Before I move on to the rankings, I just want to start off by saying that this list will not include Boost, because the endless combination for Boost, but I will be bringing up points with the dinos being boosted and unboosted. So for the most part, this list is taking into account level 26, non-boosted. Also, this is just my opinion, so don't come at me in the comments if your dino did not make it on the list. Also, if you enjoyed the commentary, please let me know in the comments down below, because this is my first time doing a full commentary vid like this, and it lets me know if you guys like this or not. Thank you all so much for the support on the channel recently. Anyway, without the way, let's get to the rankings. So coming in at number 10, which is in my opinion always the hardest to rank, first is Compsocaulus, the Compy hybrid. As of writing this, only 6 Compsocaulus are in the top 50 and 10 are in the top 100, as of a few months ago when there was only 37 Compies in the top 50 and 67 in the top 100 last I checked. Before adding Compy to the list, I was having a debate with IDGT whether or not to bring Compy into the list or not, and he brings out a pretty good point here. So that's why Compy C made it into the list and not Orion, just because there's way more Compy in the arena, but I'll be giving Orion an honorable mention just because these two are so good. So at level 26, Compy has pretty solid stats with 3,750 HP, 1,350 attack, 127 speed, no armor, and a 10% crit chance. Its moveset is pretty good for what it is. The immune to speed decrease really helps this dino out a lot, and the resistance to distraction and stun also helps this dino out in the current meta. It is a flawed creature, so it is going to bring pain to the opponent one way or another. It has that swap in distraction, which also helps it against the more hard hitters in this game. What put this creature at number 10 was just the meta of revolving around it, right? And the new dinos coming out such as Phorurex, Indotaurus, just dinos that really can screw with it, which is really the most meta-defining dinos right now are those guys. And with the huge surge of Skoona and Testa running around, they shut down pretty quickly. And that's why Compy C is only number 10. Number 9 may come as a shock to a lot of you, but for number 9 I'll be placing Antarctovenator here. Now at first glance you might be thinking, why am I placing this dino at number 9? Well, again, I had another discussion with IDGT and we basically both agreed that Toven is amazing. I mean, the stats and moveset with the immunities really help this dino out tons, and it's just a solid dino with 4.2k HP, 1.2k attack, 110 speed with 20% armor, and a 10% crit chance, so I don't really need to say anything else about these stats. Really good stats. Moveset is also really good and gives this dino a way around standing up to a lot of the really meta-defined dinos in game. The swap in distraction also helps this dino out too, just like in Compy C's case, where it can, come in and take a hit from a few bigger chompers and just other like cunnings that hit hard. You guys also might find this shocking, but Toven actually beats more than half of the tyrants in game, and currently it also beats one of the high tyrants. The immune to distraction also puts this dino at the top, with stuff like Phorurex able to get a turn 1 distracting rampage off on you. And the speed decrease and stun resistance also helps this dino out with dinos that can swap in, stun you, or decelerate you, such as Skoona or Monolorhino. But as of taking notes for this video, I only saw 6 Toven in the top 50, which isn't much, but the fact that people are using this dino is just cool. Again, the reason why it is number 9 is just like in Compy C's case, just the other really strong dinos in the meta are just better than Ant. I'm not saying Toven is bad by any means, but it's just, there's just better dinos revolving around it, so that's why it's number 9. So I might get some criticism for this, but I'm just going to put Monolorhino at number 8 on the list. Now, unboosted, Monolorhino is better than the number 7 spot on this list, and it also beats Testa, which is really good considering Testa is one of the stronger dinos in game. But in a boosted scenario, Monolorhino is not as good as the 7th creature. Monolorhino has pretty solid stats. It has 4.5k HP, 1,250 attack, 116 speed, 30% armor, and 5% crit chance. It's a really good dino. Some pretty solid stats. I mean, the moves as well are also pretty good, and the swap in Stunning Strike puts this dino really high up on the list, like in terms of the meta, I guess you could say. I mean, it's been Tyrant ever since 2.0, I'm pretty sure, and like with all the swappers we have currently, Monolorhino also has the tankiness to take some of those hits like from Phorurex, and it can also screw around with Indotaurus just because of the rend resistance. And its ability to come back multiple times in the battle thanks to the swap prevent immunity and it's just really good. Monolorhino also has 5 immunities and 3 resistances, but I really can't be asked to name them, so I'll just put them up on screen for you to see. And also, as of writing this, Monolorhino, I've seen 35 Monolorhinos in the top 50, which is really solid, to say the least. And I don't really have anything else to say about this dino other than it's just a really good dino. And if you can get it, go for it. Only reason why it's number 8 is just because the inclusion of the next dino on the list that we're about to get to. Yeah, that's why Monolorhino is number 8.
Coming in at number 7 is Parasauthops. By the way, this is just my favorite dino in game. I absolutely love it to pieces. One of my favorite designs, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like it. So yeah, Parati is number 7, and I'll say it now, but I do think that Parati is a more stallier, more offensive version of what Monolorhino is. Where Monolorhino, you're more of the defensive. Parati, you can heal, you can attack, and you can just like, it has a great 3-turn cycle rotation. So you can get that, like, the swap in Fierce Strike, you can heal, then you can attack, then you can go with your priority heal, and then, keep cycling through. I did have a discussion not too long ago with my friend Sights, and we both agreed that Parati just refuses to die with the heals. And if you watch my raid vids with my buddy Cheese King, you'll know that had it not been for a Parasauthops in a certain situation, we would have lost the raid. He absolutely loves his para. And Parati is really tanky as well, with 4,650 health, 1,550 attack, no K speed with 109. It has a 15% crit chance, so if it gets that off on you, you're kind of screwed. It does have decent resistances, I guess. I mean, 75% bleed resistance is good with all the Spinoconstrictors going around. So it helps you out in that regard, I guess. Counter power heal also helps Parati out too, but not to the extent like it used to. Because it used to heal like 11%, but now it heals 6%. So that was more of a nerf to Testa, if anything. It doesn't really matter though, because of the monster-like healing abilities. Able to out-heal the only really 2 good healers, which is Toramoloch and Tenrex. In my opinion, it's more of a raider. I see it, but it's it's completely good in PvP as well. If you get that swap in kill, like I said, just do the heal and attack stuff. You're gonna be in a good stead to win the game. I did see lots of people, well, a select few people, winning the game by 3-0 using Parati, so that was pretty cool. And as of writing this, there are currently only 31 Parati in the top 50, which is pretty good. Only reason why it's number 7 is because it only really has 2 moves to attack you with, not including the swap in. And yeah, one of those being a rampage. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. If you can get it, go for it. It will not disappoint. And yeah, just a pretty solid dino.
Number 6 finally goes to one of the bleeders on this list, Spinoconstrictor. The recent changes to Spinocon really put this dino from low down in the leaderboard, not often that you've seen, to all the way to Tyrant. I mean, this thing is easy Tyrant. Quite often seen in the arena now, and lots of people using it, which is really cool because Spinoconstrictor is one of my favorite creatures in game. It has a really good turn 1 with evasive wounding strike, and the counter bleed can really bring the pain train to other tyrants on the list, which is really cool. It got a pretty decent glow up from a god-awful stats to really good stats, from 4.2k HP, 1.3k attack, 126 speed, and 10% crit chance. The Escape move is also pretty good if used in the right scenario. It can win you the game. And the immunes are also really solid and can go around lots of moves that dinos would normally use on you. Right now there are 28 Spinoconstrictors in the leaderboard, which is pretty average to say the least. And I don't really have a reason why it's number 6 on the list. It's other than there are better dinos out there. Not saying Spinoconstrictor is bad by any means. It's easily Tyrant. I don't have anything bad to say about Spinoconstrictor, so yeah, number 6. Now moving on to the top 5 dinos, and number 5 on this list. Now, before moving on, I just want to say that the next 5 dinos on this list are very meta-defying dinos. Maybe one of them weaker than the other 4, but I just want to say that these 5 dinos are absolutely the best dinos on the game. It's hard to see a team that won't run these dinos. I mean, if you go to the leaderboard, you'll see a team running every single one of these dinos most of the time. And for number 5, I'd place Scorpius Rex Gen 3 here. Now, I honestly do think I should have placed it number 4, and my thoughts may change after this video. But yeah, this is easily a Tyrant dino. It's so easy to see why it's so good. I mean, the moves itself just, yeah, this whole thing is amazing. I love Scorpius Rex Gen 3. It's also one of my favorite dinos. It's easily the best dino in the game with the single most strongest move in the game, that being Toxic Quills. And the stats of Scorpius Rex Gen 3 are also really good with 4,050 health, 1,350 attack, 119 speed with a really good 25% crit chance. So yeah, really good dino overall. And I don't have anything else to say about this dino other than I can bring up the immunities. It has 2 of the best immunities in the game with immune to decel and stun, which in this meta are heavy. And it has a really good swap in too. Swap in critical ambush gain gives you like 30% extra speed and gets like 50% crit chance, so it's really good. And right now there are 48 out of 50 Scorpius Rex Gen 3 in the arena, so that's like the highest amount out of the whole leaderboard, well, even in this list as well. Really good dino. I don't have any negative thing to say about it. There are counters to this thing. Now, a lot of people do say nerf Scorpius. Now, I might get criticism for this, but personally, I do not think Scorpius Rex Gen 3 needs a nerf. I think it is balanced. There are clear counters to Scorpius. I honestly don't have anything to say about this thing other than if you can get it, please go for it. It will not disappoint you. It will see you through every battle, and it will not disappoint. One of my favorite dinos. I'm just going to put Indotaurus number 4 on the list. Another easy Tyrant in the game, and with the same case as Scorpius Rex Gen 3, really hard to find a team that doesn't run this creature. With good solid base stats of 4,650 HP, 1,600 attack, and a below average 106 speed with 20% crit chance, it has good stats. There are just some bad stuff about this dino. Indotaurus is just way too RNG dependent with the cloak and dodge, for instance. Also, rend resistance really screws around with it, especially Monolorhino. And with like really the lack of immunities and resistances this thing has, it's really bad. I mean, Indotaurus is not a bad dino, but it just has sucky resistances. And especially taking into account that you can stun it, which is a big downfall considering the current meta is just, they probably have to up that stun resistance. Aside from that, that's really the only negative thing I have to say about it. Pesky Alert is a good move. It's a good passive move if your opponent swaps and then you get that, cleansing rampage off. It stops the opponent from swapping. Good things about it. The fact that you can get a massive Revenge Cloak rending counter is also really good. You can finish sauropods off with that and do tons and tons of damage. Cleansing Rampage also helps Indotaurus a lot, if it's distracted or, you just want to take off the distraction or any negative effects. Currently 47 out of the top 50 use it, and it's clear to see why. It's an absolute monstrous dino. It does have its weaknesses, but when it's played right, it's gonna destroy. I don't have anything else to say about Indotaurus. I probably will switch number 4, number 5 around at some point. But if you can get this dino, go for it. It will see you through every battle, like I said. And yeah, it's an Indotaurus. Moving on to the number 3 spot on this list is Testacornibus. I have a hard time pronouncing that. Now, originally, Testa was supposed to be number 2 on the list, but some things changed my mind on it. and here's what changed my mind. Firstly was the nerf to Testa. Now in my opinion, they did a good job at balancing Testa with the nerf to an extent. But what pushed it down was the counter power heal nerf. Now this nerf was more of a nerf to Testa than it was to the other dino that had counter power heal, which is Parity. The heal isn't as good anymore, and Testa doesn't heal what it used to. It used to heal 11%, but now it only heals like 6%. There are dinos out there that can mess up with Testa, Indot being its biggest enemy. But aside from all that though, this is a really strong dino, and even though I don't use it because I downright loathe this bitch, I still have respect for it for hanging in the meta. And it is Tyrant for a good reason. Testa is better against more things in a PvP situation than a good amount of the dinos on this list. As of writing this, there are only 37 Testas in the top 50, which is an above average number despite the nerfs. Overall, Testa's a really solid creature, and it's just hell if you don't have the right team to fight it. Coming in at number 2. Now this one was a bit hard to decide, but it's going to be the giant sauropod himself, the Skoonasaurus. Now before I go any further, originally I was going to put Testa here, like I said, but after doing some research and rethinking, I put Skoona at number 2. It was really hard for me to choose which to put on number 3 and number 2, but I put Skoona on here for the following reasons. It is one of the strongest, if not the strongest dinos in the game, and for a good reason. It has some of the best stats in the game with 5,850 HP, 1,150 attack, and 108 speed, with 30% armor and 20% crit chance. You just can't get better than that. Also, with tons of attack boost plowed into it and a good amount of health, you're basically settled in the arena. It's just a really solid dino for a sauropod. Also, with Ludia quote-unquote nerfing Skoona by taking away Resilient Strike, actually buffing it with a 1x decelerating counter, which is just really good now because you basically always get the speed control unless the opponent you're facing is immune to speed decrease. I mean, Skoona is just such a versatile dino. You can start with it, you can close with it, you can swap it in if you need to tank those hits, get, some hits on. Skooona is just really good at dishing loads of damage whilst taking it. Skoona's best counter is Spinoconstrictor, and then the other two would be Scorpius Rex Gen 3 or Indotaurus, can also be reliable, but they'd have to be played right in order to kill or set up. Other than that, out of the top 50, 48 people have Skoona on their team. I don't have anything bad to say about this dino because it's absolutely amazing. There isn't really anything else to say about it. Really strong dino overall, really good stats, resistances, and moves. And for that reason, Skoona is number 2. And now, the moment of truth. The number 1 best dino in the entire game has to go to Phorurex. Yup, the terror bird, killer chicken, whatever you want to call it. It's easily the best dino in the game, no doubt about it. It's such a versatile dino. Its moves, its stats, it's such high versatility and usability in the battle as well. It's easily makes it the best dino in the game. Now, if I were to tell you a few months ago, before this was released, if I were to tell you then that we were going to get a Terror Bird hybrid that had these moves, what would you say the health was on it? Maybe 3.3k, maybe 3.6k. Nah, man. This thing has 4,050 health. That's so, that's tanky. That is not, this thing can take hits. It can take hits, and especially with that Cautious Cunning Rampage, which is basically an instant rampage, which is already one of the best moves in the game. But now with Cautious Cunning Rampage being an instant cunning rampage, yeah, this thing is tanky and it could take hits too. And with the critical sidestep granting the user 100% critical on the next hit it does, assuming it doesn't get that removed, you're gonna do easily 4,000 damage with this thing. And especially taking into account boosts, if you boost this thing, you're gonna do, a huge hit accumulating around 6,000 to 7,000 damage. That's a lot of damage for one hit. And if you that's a crit, but still 5,800 damage on turn 1 instantly. That's a lot. I mean, Stunning obstruction as well. You try to swap out, you're gonna get pinned, you're gonna get stunned, you're gonna get hit. You know, Phorurex comes swapping in with the swap in rending lockdown. You're gonna get locked down, you're gonna get rended, you're gonna get a massive hit on you. I mean, it's no wonder why 47 to 49 people in the top 50 use this little monster. My buddy Polo absolutely loves his Phorurex, and I absolutely love my Phorurex as well. Phorurex is it's not even one of, it's the best dino in the game. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's the number one spot. Goes to Phorurex. Should have been obvious. I mean, maybe you guys had different thoughts. Yeah, that's number one dino in the game.
And boom, there it is, you guys. Finally, the top 10 best uniques in the entire game. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you like this list? Did you not? Do you agree? Do you not? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, I just want to give a big thanks to GamePress's tier list, which I used as a base for making this video. It gave me a pretty good idea on where to rank stuff. I had a blast making this list, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I want to also give another thanks to all the people who helped me give ideas for the past few months. Yeah, your names popped up on screen. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. This is kind of new for me, so I hope I wasn't too bad. But yeah, it's my first time doing this, so please give me feedback on what I could do to be better. Or, if not, then yeah, there it is. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for all the support you've left on the channel recently. And I don't know if I should make an outro or not, so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.